The air in the living room hung thick, heavy with the scent of her lavender perfume, and the faint tang of red wine staining the carpet. My hand trembled, clutching the phone, its screen glowing with the message that had ripped my world apart. I'm at the hotel. Can't wait to see you again. Last night was unreal. The sender's name, Mark, burned into my retina like a brand. My wife, Sarah, sat across from me on the couch, her legs crossed, her face a mask of calm that didn't reach her eyes. Those eyes, once my anchor, now flickered with something I couldn't name. Guilt, defiance, or maybe both. Explain it. I said, my voice low, jagged like broken glass. I held up the phone, the evidence pulsing in my grip. Now. She didn't flinch. Instead, she tilted her head, her blonde hair catching the dim light from the lamp, and sighed. You're so boring, David, she said, her words slicing through the silence. I opened our marriage. You didn't even notice. The room spun. My chest tightened, as if the air had been sucked out through a vacuum. Boring? Opened our marriage? The phrases echoed, nonsensical, like a foreign language I was supposed to understand. I thought of our life, 10 years of quiet mornings, shared coffee, her laughter at my bad puns, the way she'd curl into me during thunderstorms. Boring. The word felt like a betrayal all its own. When? I managed, my throat dry, the question scraping out like a plea. Sarah leaned forward, her hands clasped, her voice steady but laced with something sharp. 6 months ago. I told you I needed more. You nodded, said you'd try, but you didn't. You never do. Her gaze held mine unyielding. Mark gives me what you can't. The name landed like a punch. Mark. Her co-worker, the one with the easy smile and the tailored suits, the one she'd mentioned in passing. Late meetings, team dinners, nothing unusual. I'd trusted her. I'd trusted us. My mind raced, replaying moments I'd dismissed. Her phone buzzing at odd hours, her sudden interest in yoga retreats, the way she'd started locking her laptop. Red flags, all of them, waved off as stress or routine. I'd been blind, not boring. Did you think I wouldn't find out? I asked, my voice rising despite myself. The phone felt like a grenade in my hand, ready to detonate. She shrugged, a small, careless motion that twisted the knife deeper. I didn't care if you did. I thought maybe it'd wake you up. I stood, pacing the room, my footsteps muffled by the rug we'd picked out together at that flea market in Portland. The memory stung, her hand in mine, her laugh as we haggled over the price. Now, that same rug grounded me as I fought the urge to scream. Wake me up. I repeated, turning to face her. You cheated, Sarah. You didn't talk to me. You didn't try. You just... My voice cracked and I hated it. I hated how small I felt, how her words had stripped me bare. Her expression softened, but only for a moment, like a cloud passing over the sun. I tried, David. For years. You were always content. Work, dinner, Netflix, bed. I wanted passion. I wanted to feel alive. Her voice trembled now, and I saw it. Guilt, yes, but also longing, a hunger I hadn't noticed until it was too late. I sank into the armchair, my legs giving out. The room felt smaller, the walls closing in, the air thick with the weight of her confession. I wanted to hate her, to rage, but all I could feel was the ache of loss, like a limb had been torn away. So what now? I asked, barely above a whisper. You love him. She hesitated, her fingers twisting the hem of her sweater. I don't know, she admitted. He makes me feel seen. But you, she stopped, her eyes glistening. You're home, David. You always have been. Her words were a lifeline and a noose. I wanted to grab them, to pull her back to me, but the image of her with him, Mark, in some hotel room, her laughter filling the space where mine should have been, clawed at my mind. I saw it in vivid detail. Her hair splayed across a pillow, his hands on her, the intimacy I thought was ours alone. My stomach churned, while rising in my throat. Why didn't you leave? I asked, my voice hollow. If I'm so boring, why stay? She looked away, her gaze settling on the photo frame on the mantel. Us smiling, on our honeymoon in Santorini. Because I love you, she said, so softly I almost missed it. I know it doesn't make sense. I know I've hurt you, but I didn't want to lose us. I laughed, a bitter, broken sound. You already did. The silence that followed was suffocating. I thought of the nights I'd spent planning our future. Kids, a house in the suburbs, growing old together. Had she been planning her escape all along? My mind spiraled, picking apart every moment, every conversation. The time she'd come home late, her cheeks flushed, blaming traffic. The weekend she'd needed space, and vanished to a friend's cabin. Lies, all of them, stitched together with my trust. I stood again, needing to move, to shake off the weight of her betrayal. The kitchen light flickered, casting shadows that danced across the counter where we'd cooked together, where she'd kissed me just last week. I grabbed a glass, filled it with water, and drank, the cold liquid grounding me, if only for a second. "What do you want, Sarah?" I asked, turning to face her. "You opened our marriage." "Fine. What's next? We share you?" I pretend this didn't happen. Her face crumpled, and for the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. "I don't know," she said, her voice breaking. "I didn't think it would go this far. I thought I could have both him and you. But I can't. I see that now." The admission should have felt like victory, but it didn't. It felt like defeat, like we'd both lost something irreplaceable. I wanted to ask her to choose, to beg her to pick me, but pride, or maybe pain, kept the words locked in my throat. Instead, I asked, "Does he know about me?" She nodded, her hands trembling now. "He knows we're married. He doesn't care." The cruelty of it hit me like a wave. Not just her betrayal, but his. The audacity of a man who'd take what wasn't his, who'd look at our life and see it as disposable. Anger surged, hot and sharp, cutting through the fog of hurt. "And you're okay with that?" I asked, my voice steady now, edged with something dangerous. "You're okay with being his what? Side piece?" Her flinch was small, but I saw it. "It's not like that," she said, but her voice lacked conviction. "He respects me. He listens." "Listens?" I echoed, the word tasting bitter. "I listened, Sarah. Every time you cried about your job, every time you worried about your mom, every time you needed me. I was here. And it wasn't enough." She stood now, crossing the room to stand in front of me, close enough that I could feel the heat of her body, smell that damn lavender. "It was enough," she whispered, tears spilling down her cheeks. "It was. I got lost, David. I got scared of being nothing but your wife." Her words hung between us, raw and jagged. And for a moment, I saw her. Not the cheater, not the liar, but the woman I'd loved since college. The one who'd danced barefoot in our old apartment, who'd cried when we lost our first dog. I wanted to hold her, to fix this, but the chasm between us was too wide, too deep. "Then why didn't you tell me?" I asked, my voice breaking. "Why didn't you fight for us?" She had no answer, and that was worse than any lie. The silence stretched, heavy with everything we couldn't say. My phone buzzed on the counter, another message from Mark, but I didn't look. I didn't need to. The truth was already here, in her tears, in my rage, in the wreckage of our life. "I'm leaving," I said, the words surprising me as much as her. Her eyes widened, panic flashing across her face, but I held up a hand. "Not forever. Not yet. I can't be here right now." I grabbed my keys, my jacket, and walked to the door, the weight of her gaze following me. As I stepped into the cool night air, the door clicking shut behind me, I heard her sob, a single broken sound that echoed in my chest. I didn't turn back. Not because I didn't love her, but because I did. And because I knew deep down that love wasn't enough anymore. The street was quiet, the stars hidden behind clouds, and as I walked, my phone buzzed again. This time I looked. Another message from Mark. "She's mine now. Let her go." My grip tightened, the screen cracking under my fingers. A plan formed, unbidden, dark and sharp-edged. Sarah had made her choice. Mark had made his. Now it was my turn.